Well, just wanted to relate a little story. Wine and cigars after dinner on the back deck, on the veranda. So, anyway, I just wanted to relate a little story about the highs and lows of cruising. And sometimes things can go so wrong. And other times they can be so right. And those times don't have to be far apart. So, Saturday, Memorial Day weekend, I was at a place called Boston Harbor, which is north of Olympia, about, I don't know, I think it's about 15 miles, something like that. There's a nice little anchorage there, little marina, with a store and all that. So anyway, it was a nice place to hang out. So, been there a couple days. We had bad weather, 2-3 days of bad weather. So my batteries were kind of run down because I couldn't put my solar charger out. It wasn't really doing anything with the cloud cover. So anyway, woke up Saturday morning, just after sunup, and it was a beautiful morning. The water was like glass. It was like a mirror. I took a couple pictures. I'll post them on here. So calm. It was unbelievable. So I thought, great, it's going to be a sunny day. I'll put out the solar panel, charge up my batteries before I leave, which I was going to leave in another day or so. So I did. I put out the solar panel, went down in the cabin, cooked breakfast, had my coffee and breakfast. Right after breakfast, all of a sudden, I got hit with with a rogue wave that rocked the boat so violently side to side that it threw everything from one side of the cabin to the other and then back again. And then it was gone. Nothing was damaged, but it was very, very violent. And I came up out of the hatch, and the guy next to me, a friend of mine, in his boat, he'd done the same, stuck his head out like, what the hell was that? Couldn't see any boats. It was a wave that must have come for miles across the water and then hit us. So anyway, I looked on the deck, and lo and behold, my solar panel was gone. I mean gone. Nothing but the 2 wires hanging there. I was devastated. Brand new solar system. I got about $500 into it like a month and a half ago, and 2 months, something like that. Guy just had this sinking feeling. It was like, oh crap, now I'm without power and all that. So my buddy says, well, I got like AAA for boats, so we'll get a diver out here. We'll see if we can get it back. He goes, I lost one like that, and the panel worked fine. Well, the charge controller is attached to this panel. It's like a briefcase setup. It opens up and all that. So anyway, being Memorial Day weekend, couldn't get one Saturday, Sunday, no diver Monday because that was Memorial Day. Tuesday we figured he'd come. He called and said, well, we tried to make it here, but our boat broke down, so we'll be there tomorrow. So next day, Tuesday, this is 4 days later, diver shows up. Took him about, I had dropped an anchor with my spare anchor with a float to mark the spot where it went over, so he had a pretty good idea where it was. It only took him 10-15 minutes to find it. So I thought, well, the panel probably be okay, hopefully. But the charge controller had run about $90 to get a new one. So I thought that's better than $500. So he pulled it up, and I leaned over to grab it and pull it up, and as soon as he brought it up out of the water and the sun hit it, the charge controller lit up and started working. I was like, what? So I brought it up, washed it all off with fresh water and dried it thoroughly, plugged it back in to the rest of the system, reconnected the cables. Lo and behold, that thing works just as good as it did when it went over. 4.5 days in 22 feet of salt water, and this thing didn't skip a beat. As soon as I plugged it in, it fired up and just started charging. They advertise this system as completely waterproof, but that usually means rain, wind, that kind of thing. Not 22 feet of salt water for 4 days. So the really bad part of that was it went overboard. The really great part is there was no damage done. Didn't cost us anything for the diver. It was covered. Needless to say, I signed up for that insurance myself while the guy was here. Yeah, so anyway, just figured I'd kind of relate that story to you. Some of the highs and lows of the cruising life.